Greetings, petrol heads. Welcome back to Car Mechanic Simulator 2015. Today, I'm actually going to be taking a look at the first car I've restored. The category Katsumoto. Restored and kept for myself, I guess. Can't remember if I've restored anything before that and sold it. It is a yellow one with custom body parts, custom rims. I don't think I've tuned it yet though. No, certainly not. This looks stock. Do we have an opportunity to swap this engine? Yes, we do. We do indeed. And I think I want to do that. Actually, no. Let's take this thing to the old factory test track right now, not to the drag strip, because with 141 horsepower it might get a little bit tedious. But I wanna experience how it behaves now, like with the stock engine components. And then I want to see a difference later on when we have a turbocharged engine, and then again when we've tuned that turbocharged engine. So on the old factory test track, do you shift yourself or? Oh right, there's no like ready set go here. This is a very nice handling front-wheel drive car. I couldn't see where the car ends on the left side, so therefore, okay, that was my own mistake. But what I mean with it's a nice handling front-wheel drive car, if you do this a little bit, eventually the back will come around. It won't understeer, it'll actually have a little bit of rotation, a little bit of oversteer when you exaggerate it a little bit. And therefore, I think this is a pretty nice handling car. Now, if we add a turbocharger to the mix, if we swap this out for a turbocharged engine, remember that we need extra components that are gonna add more weight. And because of that, the front of the car is gonna be heavier and it might not steer as nicely anymore, and it might understeer a little bit more. I probably damaged something, didn't I? I did not. Okay, a good thing that you don't, like, the car doesn't take damage from something like that. Yeah, let's swap it out. Was actually quite cheap. There's the turbo. Let's go again. And again, I have to drive with WASD here on my keyboard that in this game doesn't have controller support, and therefore, you know, it's been a while since I've done any sort of driving game on the PC with the keyboard. Steering does feel a little bit less direct, and all of a sudden it just went round there. It really does feel like it makes a little bit of a difference. Yeah, the nose feels heavier. It feels like once it's chosen, like it has a nice initial turning in, but once it's chosen the direction it wants to start pushing a little bit, wants to understeer. So it maybe I'm just talking shit, but I feel that it did make a little bit of a difference. Mind you, the feeling of the car pushing to the outside was it may have been because I was constantly like on the throttle once we were actually in the corner, and because it now has a turbo, it has more power, and maybe that's why it felt like it was pulling to the outside. Let's go ahead and go to the left lifter. We are gonna have to drain oil, sadly, because we wanna switch. We wanna replace everything that can be replaced with performance parts, including the pistons. And for that we need to remove the oil pan, which means we gotta drain oil first. Where's the oil drain plug? It's about here, I would assume. Yep, we nailed it that time. Good. Okay, yeah, we can't remove that yet. Obviously no like drive shaft going to the rear, which we would need to remove before we get to the gearbox. Instead we have front drive axles and the front drive shaft. There is still something we gotta do in the rear though, like the muffler and the fuel pump. Let's go ahead and buy everything we need from the performance shop. We need an air filter, we need an alternator, we need 2 camshafts, we need a cat, we need one of these, and 2 engine heads. No, why would I buy 4? It's only, I'm an idiot. Well, I'm used to restoring V8 cars, so you'll forgive me. One of these. We have the exhaust manifold. Exhaust plug. I'm so used to having V8s to restore. It's crazy that it's now a turbo inline 4. This one. This. One of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. None of that. This. One of these. 4 of these. And then a 4 steering pump. What muffler do you have? Rear muffler, okay. 4 spark plugs, a throttle and a turbo. Good. That's all we can do for now. I mean, I guess what I could do is set up one of these. Okay. Now I'm gonna get you down. Replace the air filter first, because that's easy. Even in real life, it's easy. Okay. New fuel filter. Then remove the turbo. And the starter. I could now handle all the gearbox stuff and also the front exhaust section, so I could now go ahead and lift it up and do all of that. But I think I want to do whatever I can here first. We will probably be seeing quite a significant difference in acceleration when we go back to the old factory test track, because I'm not only going to be like swapping parts, I'm also going to be ECU tuning. We don't need to access the crank for anything, so no. Don't put the stock pistons back in there. Engine head. Camshaft. Camshaft 2. Cam gears. No, don't want to do that yet. The fuel rail. The new intake manifold, which looks really nice. Especially with the new throttle attached to it. Look at that. New spark plugs, sure. New ignition coils, sure. Serpentine belt B, belt tensioner, serpentine belt A, and then that's pretty much that. Then we lift it up. Replace the front exhaust section. And there really should be a performance gearbox so that you can, so that it would shift faster. But there's no such thing. Front drive shaft, the drive axle, then the wheel on this side. We'll also go ahead and put these back on, and then also the oil pan, so that when we get it back down we can finish everything off and fill it up with oil again. So this, fit these. And there it goes. So remember, the stock naturally aspirated engine made 141 horsepower. That's what it was indicated at. So it should be making that. The turbo engine stock was indicated at 171 horsepower. Or how much? Yeah, 171. 143 for the naturally aspirated one, excuse me. So with some tuning, including ECU setup, it should be definitely able to reach 300 horsepower. If it's not there already, let's see. $253, okay. It has 4 ratios as well, just like the car we've had yesterday. No, wait, you need to go up. Yes, okay. Now we do this. Can we go one more? No. There we go. Plus 16%. That's good. $281 horsepower. I was expecting a little bit more, but still, that's pretty much twice as much as it made in its naturally aspirated form. So we will go ahead and take a look at what it does now. If the game would be so kind as to load properly. Okay. That's a wheel spin off the line. Can still get a little bit of a slide going on. I wasn't expecting the car to turn that sharply by using the handbrake there. I thought it was going a little bit faster. Right. So, it actually feels almost like the naturally aspirated car. When it comes to handling in its own right. So that leads me to assume that the performance parts are actually lighter than the stock parts on a turbo engine, and that does make sense. And therefore it feels a little bit more agile, a little bit less understeery. Although of course you can still get a lot of understeer once you hit the throttle halfway through a corner. What does this car now do acceleration wise? Let's see. Because with 281 horsepower, it shouldn't be that slow anymore. Let's restart it actually. That was 26, like precisely 26 seconds for 1,000 meters. Let's restart. The start was pretty shitty. I'm gonna drop the revs down to 0 after I hit the throttle just slightly in order to make it start. And then just roll on the throttle once the run starts, and then maybe I get less wheel spin. Also kinda sucks that it can't reach 100 kilometers an hour in second gear. That was even slower. Let's return to the garage. What if we give this thing semi-slicks is maybe a little bit overkill, but fuck it, why not? So that we can see how fast it would go without the wheel spin. Because I think it might be able to do 0 to 100 in at least like around 6 seconds, if not quicker. Because there really is a lot of wheel spin off the line. It might do it in less than 6 seconds. Let's see, left lifter. Tire swap. Sure, slick tires. Why not? Okay. Right. Drag strip. I'm also hoping I can get the shift times right, so I don't bounce off the ref limiter again. So with the right tires, this thing will do 0 to 100 in 5.3 seconds and a 13.1 quarter mile time. That's more than 2 seconds faster than with the stock tire. And remember, we're going in a straight line. Yeah, well, it did pay off probably. Wouldn't want to drive these slick tires in the rain, like in everyday driving, because this is overall still an everyday car pretty much. But apart from that, it does an awesome job at the drag strip. So, we've done a little experiment today. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Leave a like or a comment if you did. Thank you for watching, and once this garage is loaded, I will see you next time.